Hi there, and welcome back to our English listening practice. Today's story is perfect for intermediate learners, B1-B2 level. You'll practice your listening and reading skills while enjoying a touching tale about unexpected friendship, kindness, and new beginnings. So, grab your headphones and let's begin the story of the unexpected guest. It was a rainy Thursday afternoon when Abby finally arrived home from work. Raindrops tapped impatiently on her umbrella as she fumbled with her keys. Her hands were cold, her shoes soaked, and her coat clung to her skin like a second, very unpleasant layer. The moment she stepped inside her apartment, she let out a deep sigh of relief. The place was warm, cozy, and smelled faintly of vanilla candles, just the way she liked it. She slipped off her wet boots, hung her jacket by the door, and walked into the kitchen to make a cup of tea. All she wanted was to curl up on the couch, sip her tea, and maybe rewatch an old cooking show for the 100th time. But something caught her attention. On the hallway floor, just before the living room carpet, were muddy paw prints. Abby froze. Her heart jumped into her throat. Paw prints. Inside. She lived alone. She didn't have a pet. Her eyes followed the prints. They were small, wet, and messy, leading from the back door, across the hallway, and disappearing into the kitchen. What would you do if you saw muddy paw prints in your home and lived alone? Think about it for a second. She moved slowly, cautiously. She picked up the closest thing that could act as a weapon, a broomstick. It wasn't ideal, but it made her feel slightly braver. As she stepped into the kitchen, expecting the worst, her eyes landed on the intruder. And then, she laughed. Curled up on her favorite kitchen rug, completely at ease, was a large golden retriever. The dog was muddy, soaked, and snoring softly, as if this were his home and not hers. He looked up for a moment, blinked slowly, then laid his head back down and continued sleeping. Abby lowered the broom. "Well," she said, half amused, half confused. "You're not exactly what I expected." She crouched beside him. His fur was damp and tangled, but his eyes were kind. He had no collar, no tags, and seemed exhausted. "Where did you come from, boy?" She gently patted his head. He gave her a sleepy wag of his tail. That night, Abby dried him with old towels, made him a little bed near the heater, and cooked him some plain chicken and rice. He ate like he hadn't seen food in days. She posted pictures on social media, joined local lost pet groups, and even printed out some flyers. The next day, she walked around the neighborhood, asking everyone, "Have you seen this dog before?" But no one recognized him. Abby began calling him Toby. Toby adjusted to her home like he had always lived there. He followed her from room to room, rested his chin on her lap during Zoom meetings, and once, to her surprise, jumped into the bathtub while she was soaking in lavender bubbles. What would you name this dog if he showed up at your door? Leave a comment below. He had a habit of barking at the microwave, chasing shadows on the walls, and collecting her slippers one by one and hiding them under the couch. Every night, he curled up by her feet and snored softly. And for the first time in years, Abby didn't feel so alone. She told her co-workers about Toby, sent photos to her mom, and even bought him a proper dog bed, which, of course, he completely ignored. One afternoon, while they were walking through the park, Toby chasing squirrels that he could never catch, a little girl shouted, "Mommy, it's Max. That's Max." Abby turned around just in time to see the girl run toward them, arms wide open. Toby stopped. His ears perked up. He wagged his tail slowly. Behind the girl, a woman came running. Tears were already in her eyes. "I can't believe it," the woman whispered, hugging the dog tightly. "We thought he was gone forever." Abby stood there, stunned. The woman explained that Max had run off during a storm 2 weeks earlier. They had searched everywhere, shelters, posters, websites, but had never thought to look on this side of town. As much as it broke her heart, Abby knew what she had to do. She handed over the leash, smiled through the lump in her throat, and said, "He's a really good dog." Max, or Toby, looked back once, just once, before following the girl and her mother back to their car. That night, the apartment felt hollow. His empty bowl sat on the floor. The little pile of toys in the corner was untouched. And when Abby lay down in bed, there was no warm presence curled up at her feet. She kept waking up, thinking she heard his paws on the floor. But it was just the silence. The next morning, Abby put away his things. Not out of anger or sadness, just love. Quiet, grateful love. Have you ever had to say goodbye to a pet or a friend you loved? How did it feel? She reminded herself, he wasn't hers to begin with. He had just stopped by for a while, like a visitor, a guest who brought joy and left her life a little fuller than before. 3 days later, the doorbell rang. Abby opened it to see the same woman and her daughter standing there, and beside them, a small, wiggly puppy. "He's Max's son," the woman said, smiling warmly. "And we were wondering, would you like to give him a home?" Abby gasped. The puppy's ears were too big for his head. His tail wagged so fast it was just a blur. He barked once, like he already belonged. Without thinking, she scooped him up. And for the first time in days, she laughed. She looked at the puppy and whispered, "I think your name is Lucky." The end. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe for more heartwarming English listening videos.